Panthers and the Texas Southern Tigers come all the way to the East Coast to Moore Gymnasium. Tonight, it's the Wildcats and Panthers taking center stage as places in the SWAC tournament at the beginning of March are still up for grabs. Live from historic Moore Gymnasium on the campus of Bethune-Cookman University in Daytona Beach, Florida, this afternoon's broadcast of BCU Wildcats Athletics on the Cat Eye Network is on the air. Hello and a very warm welcome. My name is Michael Truvillo. Happy to have your company on a rainy Saturday in the Sunshine State. A perfect day to stay indoors and watch some college basketball. This is the first game of a doubleheader between the Panthers and Wildcats, with the men's teams taking to the floor at approximately 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Now with that old preamble out of the way, let's talk basketball. The BCU Wildcats are 3-15, 2-7 in SWAC play, and are coming off of a 0-2 road trip to the state of Alabama, falling to Alabama State 64-81 and Alabama A&M 38-58. Tania White scored her career-high 21 points against Alabama State, and BCU as a team at its second-best free throw shooting night of the season, going 16 for 19. The Cats held a 31-38 lead late in the third quarter, but were held to just 7 points in the fourth to finish with the season-low 38 against Alabama A&M. Morgan Beecham leads BCU in scoring at 9.9 points per game, followed by Tania White at 9.6 and Taylor Williams at 9.2. Kayla Clark, 6.9 rebounding average, is 8th in the SWAC. The Bethune-Cookman Wildcats are 3-15, 2-7 in SWAC play, and are coming off an 0-2 road trip to the state of Alabama, falling to Alabama State 64-81 and Alabama A&M. The Prairie View A&M started conference play hot, winning 2 of their first 3. However, the Panthers have dropped 4 of their last 6 to drop to 4-5 in the SWAC and 7-13 overall, most recently dropping a 77-91 decision at home to arch rival Texas Southern. Now let's head down to the court and get into the game. Lineups are on the floor. I'll go over them for you one more time. For Prairie View, it's Diana Rosenthal, Kayla Clark, Kennedy Paul, Brittany Gardner, and Jessica Soders. And for Bethune-Cookman, Kayla White, Morgan Beecham, Tania White, Tatum Hayes, Kayla Clark. Kayla Clark getting the start, a rare start for Clark this season. She usually is used in reserve. Taylor Williams, the junior from Rahway, New Jersey, starting from the bench tonight. She has usually filled that starting role that Clark takes earlier this season. Prairie View A&M in the purple and gold on the road, and it is gold trimmed in burgundy and white for Bethune-Cookman. It'll be White to jump, or Clark, to jump for Bethune-Cookman, and Brittany Garner, the 6'4". Men's team's on the approximately 4 o'clock, so stay tuned to the Cat Eye Network here on YouTube for that one. Myself and Major Fillmore will be alongside me in commentary for that game. A very pivotal matchup as seeding is just starting to shake out as we get towards the second half of conference play. And a very important game, this one as well, because Bethune-Cookman, they are 2-7 in conference play, but they string together a couple of wins, and they could be right back in the conversation to go to the conference tournament. Prairie View wins the tip-off. They'll go right to left. Cross your screen in this first quarter. Almost a steal. Underneath it goes. Here's Kennedy Paul. She doesn't take a shot. Floated back into the paint, and the layup is up and good for the 6'4" Garner. Garner redshirted her first season at Missouri. But was on the 2018-19 first-year academic honor roll, didn't play the 2020-2021 season, and then transferred to Prairie View A&M. And we have seen BCU struggle at times this season against very tall post players. We saw it against Jackson State with Amisha Washington. And here's a turnover off the inbounds pass of the Panthers. Brought full court press. Mid-range jump shot in and out for Kennedy Paul of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Into the front court. Here is White. And now Tatum Hayes. Back to the top for Beecham. Beecham still leads the team in scoring, although her scoring has been down the past couple of weeks. Here is Kayla White. Baseline jumper, no good, and the rebound is tapped back to Brittany Garner. Panthers love that cross-court pass in transition, looking to get the defense sleeping. BCU wise to it that time. As here is Curtis Clark. Shovels it off on the baseline to Paul, and her baseline runner is no good. Beecham to White. White in transition to Clark, and a nice running layup is good for Kayla Clark. Kayla Clark, the former standout at Miami Central High School, a freshman from Miami. Nice individual move by Clark to get through the lane. Kick out for a corner three. It is off the mark and no good by Soders. Wildcats trying to go quick in transition again, but this time a long pass is unable to be controlled by Tatum Hayes, and then Camry Harris comes into the game as Kayla Clark takes his seat. As Kayla White, takes his seat and gets some talking to by first-year head coach Janelle Creighton. Creighton takes over from Vanessa Blair-Lewis, who had many a winning season here at Bethune-Cookman, looking to impart her own legacy after being an assistant at William & Mary, UNC Asheville, Colgate, and more, as up and in by Gerlin Smith. Smith, the second leading scorer on this Panthers lineup, averaging 10.5 points a game. Hayes finds Beecham in the Wildcats reset. Just a few minutes gone by here in the opening quarter. 4-2 Panthers. Camry Harris draws a double team. Beecham, a three from the corner, in and out. And Kayla White couldn't quite control the rebound, and it comes down to the Panthers. Nice little jab step to get free in the lane by Clark. Her layup is no good, and then she steps on the baseline trying to grab her own miss, and BCU will take possession. Panthers are going to bring a full court press throughout the ball game, and it's going to be the Wildcats' job to try and pass out of it, that time using the height of Kayla Clark. She needed all 6'3 plus of her height to pull down that pass, but the Wildcats into their offensive set. Here's Clark down low, double teamed. Panthers are very aggressive with those double teams. Nice little shot fake by Camry Harris, and she'll draw the contact underneath and go to the free throw line. Excellent job by Camry Harris to get her defender in the air. And it was not in the act of shooting, so it'll be a baseline inbound for BCU. Harris running the point. Beecham thought about a contested three, but gives it back. Tatum Hayes around the perimeter, steps around her mark, fires a baseline jumper, no good. Panthers with a 2-point lead on the basketball, almost coughs it up, but it bounces into the corner for Soders. Soders floats into the paint for Smith. Smith in traffic, gives it off. Floater in the lane is good. That is Jessica Soders, native of Houston, Texas, transferred from Blinn College and West Side High School. 6-2 Panthers in the early going on the road. It's a long trip from Prairie View, Texas to Daytona Beach, Florida. The longest conference trip that the Panthers will make this season. In the corner, and a wild pass goes out of bounds from Beecham, intended for Harris, and it'll be Panthers basketball. BCU turning the ball over 20.3 times per game. I'm sure Coach Creighton would like to bring that number down. Trinity Hudson has checked in for Prairie View A&M to replace Garner. Hudson, a sophomore forward, is up and in. Diana Rosenthal finally gets on the scoreboard. She leads the Panthers with 14 points per game. Clark into the front court, showing off a little bit of a ball handling skills, and her mid-range jump shot won't fall. Nice poke away from behind by Camry Harris as Kayla Clark was driving the lane. Panthers will have an inbound set play from the baseline. Kayla Clark, a transfer from Alcorn State, as a jumper off the inbounds pass, not good. Beecham takes the deflected rebound. Beecham ahead to Harris. In transition, a three from the right-hand wing. Swish, it's good. Camry Harris. They'll rule that a long two, not a three. So the score is only 8-4, but BCU hanging in there in the early going despite having some bad luck and not having some shots fall their way. And now bounced out of bounds, last touch by Taria White as she was scrapping with Gerlin Smith on the baseline. Gerlin, a Florida native of Miramar, Florida. Back playing in her home state. And a transfer from Tyler Junior College. She helped Tyler advance to the National Junior College Tournament. There's an illegal screen set by Kayla Clark, and the ball will go back the other way. Clark will immediately leave the game, replaced by graduate transfer Emily Rosario out of Troy University. Here comes the press again from the Panthers. Couple of nice passes, and the Wildcats get out of it. Tatum Hayes, a long three-pointer on the way. Back iron, no good. Long rebound, fought for and taken by Clark. And it will be out of bounds, and a foul is going to go against Diana Rosenthal as she chased Clark into the Panthers bench. Wildcats are getting some good offensive looks early, a couple of open threes and mid-range jump shots. And if they can start converting those, we got a whole different ball game here. Beecham through traffic, mid-range jump shot, too strong that time. Rebound by Rosario, a native of the Bronx, New York. Ahead to Rosenthal, out of bounds, and BCU will take possession. A little bit of a scrappy game early on as Bethune-Cookman will call timeout. That'll go to the media timeout. We'll take it with them. It's 8-4 Prairie View A&M, and Bethune-Cookman trying to work their way back into this one when we come back. This is Bethune-Cookman women's basketball on the Cat Eye Network. Wildcat fans, Bethune-Cookman basketball returns to Moore Gymnasium on Monday, February 7th, to take on the Tigers of Texas Southern. The women's team tips off at 5:30, with the men's scheduled to follow at 7:30. Be sure to come out and support your Wildcats. Well, the last time these two programs met in women's basketball was 2016. They met twice during the 2016-17 season, having a home-and-home non-conference series. The home team won each of those games. Welcome back to Moore Gymnasium. Michael Trivitto up here in the broadcast table for Bethune-Cookman and Prairie View A&M. Two SWAC basketball games coming your way on the Cat Eye Network this afternoon. Camry Harris gets into a little bit of trouble, passes out of it, and thinking better of the long three is Morgan Beecham. Beecham now finds herself open for three, just off to the right. Nice rebound by Rosario. She comes away with it. It's knocked out of bounds by Tatum Hayes, and the Panthers will maintain possession in front of the scorer's table. Kayla Clark returns. I mentioned she was a in-conference transfer from Alcorn State. Played 3 years at Alcorn State after opening her college career at Hines Community College. And she has got the ball now, fires a three, too short. Nice box out underneath by Tania White. White goes coast to coast, shovels it off underneath. Excellent layup by Imani Reed, freshly into the game. The junior from Columbia, Maryland. Nice transition bucket. And the Wildcats have pulled to within two. Now BCU employs the two-man trap up top. And a turnover underneath as White steals the ball. White in transition again. Euro step in the lane. Floater no good. And it's collected by Kennedy Paul. So Wildcats have had one chance to take the lead. They're playing excellent defense. But that time, an open three is good from Kennedy Paul. And that's just a little switch off from Tania White up top. And allowed the wide open three from Kennedy Paul. So in the corner, Tatum Hayes, ball dribbled off her foot. It comes to White. Nice move inside, and she'll draw the contact and head to the line. And that'll be Kayla Clark picking up the foul. Jessica Soders returns for Prairie View, and also Janae Charles, native of Loganville, Georgia, a freshman out of Loganville High School. And at the line for the first time today for either team is Whites, and Tania Whites hits her first one. An 82.4% free throw shooter. The BCU team as a whole is excellent from the charity stripe as a team, shooting 63.5%. And now Kayla White will return, replacing Tania White. No relationship between the two Whites on this team. Out high, here's Clark. And now Charles freshly onto the floor for the Panthers. Into the corner. Kennedy Paul, who hit the three on the Panthers' last possession, floats it into the paint, and Morgan Beecham almost grabs the steal, but she just touched the baseline before throwing it to Camry Harris. So Panthers will maintain possession. 7 left on the shot clock. Make it 8 after the scorer's table fixes it. Corner three off the inbounds pass, way off the mark. Ball rolls around after it was clattered away by a knee. I believe that was Hudson underneath for Prairie View A&M. Hit off her knee. Underneath it goes, and a foul, as finding space underneath was Taisha Dashes. And Trinity Hudson will pick up her first personal foul. Hudson leads the Panthers in field goal percentage with 52.6. And Taisha Dashes fresh into the game. She will head to the line for her first free throws of the season. Have only played in the last 4 games, Dashes. A transfer from Benedict College out of Miami, Florida, a junior. And 1 of 2 from the line that time. So BCU has closed the gap to 2 again, 11-9. Transition 3 once again for Prairie View A&M. This time is a little bit too strong for Kennedy Paul. Transition play for BCU, and again the pass is a little bit too high for Imani Reed to collect. But early on, this is a much better defensive performance than the Wildcats have had against teams recently. Really stepped it up on the defensive end. Passing to the corner. Here's a 3. Front of the rim, no good. Long rebound. Tatum Hayes going to track that one down for the Wildcats. Glad in the gold with burgundy trim. Hayes, a baseline drive. Underneath it goes Dashes, gets it blocked. And out of bounds it goes. It'll be Prairie View A&M ball. Excellent block from the backside by Brittany Garner. Nice timing to swat that away from what would have been an easy Dashes layup. Diana Rosenthal comes back into the game. Rosenthal just 2 points on 1 shot so far. Has spent the majority of the first quarter on the bench. But Rosenthal, their top scorer and top stealer. 49 steals on the season for Rosenthal. Here's Kayla Clark. Nice moves by the center. As around it goes. Baseline drive, up and under, no good. Putback is, though, by Brittany Garner. And Garner showed off the nice handles and footwork out high to get around a defender to continue cycling the ball around early in that possession. Camry Harris, double team, gets the ball away to Imani Reed. Under a minute to go, first quarter. 13-9, a low-scoring contest so far between the Wildcats and the Panthers. Camry Harris, a catch-and-shoot 3, no good. Nice battle for the rebound down low by Imani Reed, and she'll draw the contact and the foul. And that'll be the 5th foul of the quarter on Prairie View A&M. So Imani Reed will head to the free throw line. And the first one is good for Reed. Coming into the game, Reed 11 of 24 from the charity stripe this season. A two-time Defensive Player of the Year, scored 1,000 points in her high school career. She was part of the first all mother-daughter combination in Howard County, Maryland history to score each 1,000 points with her mother, Ramona. 3-point lead for the Panthers, 35 seconds to go in the opening quarter. A baseline pass goes begging, but they're going to get a hold on Camry Harris underneath as she prevented Jessica Soders from racing after the ball and grabbing it on the baseline. And Coach Creighton, not very happy with the call, is in the ear of the official down there on the near side. Long inbounds pass finds the hands of Rosenthal. Corner drive underneath. Excellent job by Taylor Williams, freshly into the game, to steal that away. 16 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Williams almost lost the handle, gets it back, 9 to shoot. Underneath it goes to Reed. Her shot is rejected by Garner. And it'll be BCU ball on the baseline. 6.2 seconds to play in the opening quarter. A very entertaining opening quarter thus far. Hope you've enjoyed us here on the Cat Eye Network. 3 more to come, and then 2 halves of men's basketball action to follow after that, as the inbounds pass from Beecham just kicks off the foot of Rosenthal and heads right back out of play. And now Camry Harris will switch to the inbound position, as maybe they're going to try and get a open look for Beecham, but it's going to be Williams on the baseline. Her shot is blocked again at the end of the quarter. So a 3-point lead for Prairie View A&M in a very defensive opening quarter. Panthers 13, Wildcats 10. We'll take a break and be right back. This is the Cat Eye Network's production of Bethune-Cookman women's basketball. Make sure you're representing Bethune-Cookman University Athletics to the fullest. Buy the latest BCU gear online at the Bethune-Cookman online store. Go to bcuathletics.com, then click on Shop to find the newest BCU clothing and apparel. That's bcuathletics.com and click on Shop. Second quarter on tap in a low-scoring contest here at Moore Gymnasium. Prairie View A&M leads Bethune-Cookman 13-10, and the difference really is just the one 3-point shot hit by Kennedy Paul by Prairie View midway through the first quarter. That's all that separates the two teams to this point. BCU will start with the ball in the second quarter, still attacking the basket to viewers' rights in the all gold with burgundy trim. During that quarter break, the Prairie View men's team entered the building. We'll see them in action later tonight against the Bethune-Cookman men's team. Both of those teams very much needing a win to stay in playoff contention in the SWAC. Here's Taylor Williams out to Beecham. Clark underneath. Nice ball movement, and again, Prairie View A&M defenders all over the painted area. That time it was Kennedy Paul with the rejection. So 3 blocks by Garner, now 1 by Paul. And the Wildcats have found no love around the rim so far this afternoon. Here's Reed on the baseline again. Double team, now triple team, trying to work out of it. And she almost does, but it's stolen away underneath. And a block on the other end by Morgan Beecham, who denied Kayla Clark from a breakaway. And Morgan Beecham is fired up. That is her team-leading 18th block of the season. As the Wildcats almost cough this one up in transition, Camry Harris hangs on to it. Taylor Williams, rounded defender, backdoor pass to Clark, who lays it up and in. Kayla Clark is going to have the very important job of both converting offensively against Garner and defending the paint defensively. Whistle and a stoppage of play, and it looks like Bethune-Cookman will head to the line. Taylor Williams is going to be the infractor. Kayla White returns for BCU. She replaces Morgan Beecham. Beecham, no points, but excellent work defensively. She's played all 11 minutes to this point. And Beecham has gone straight down the tunnel into the locker room. As at the line, Diana Rosenthal hits the first of a two-shot penalty, so we hope that Morgan Beecham is okay. And both penalty shots have gone in for Diana Rosenthal. Rosenthal is 71.4% free throw shooter. And here is Jaliyah Harper, native of Fortis, Alabama, a freshman. Into the game now for Prairie View. She wears number 30. Diving forward into the lane is Kayla White. Her wild layup won't go. She fights for the rebound. Is going to be called for a reach-in as Kennedy Paul was trying to break the zone and transition to the offensive side. So already 2 fouls on BCU in the early going of the second quarter. Cookman did not enter the bonus quarter. Prairie View did. Just a 3-point lead for the Panthers. At the elbow, here's Paul. Backing out, being guarded by Reed. Underneath it goes. Here is Garner. Up and under, no good. Camry Harris takes the board. Harris racing away with it up the floor. Bounce pass, deflected out of bounds. It'll still be BCU ball. That's a shame because Taylor Williams was wide open for a catch-and-shoot transition three in the corner. And Diana Rosenthal did just enough on the defensive end to tap that one out of play and force a set play for BCU. Kayla White will run the offense for the Wildcats this time. Down the floor, floated into the paint for Reed. Reed tried to get it to Williams, and it's going to roll out of bounds. BCU basketball as Harper could not catch up to it. Jaliyah Harper was named player of the game for Prairie View A&M against Jarvis Christian in their last game before conference play. Whistle and a stoppage of play. As maybe it's the, it's an issue with the clock. And as I was saying about Jaliyah Harper, first team all-district her high school senior year, and has played double-digit minutes in 3 games this season. So a lot of work for the freshman at Prairie View. Underneath it goes to Clark. 3 on the shot clock. Harris steps to her left, fires a 3. It's good at the buzzer. Camry Harris knocks down a 3. She leads the team in three-point percentage, 36.8%. That's her 15th tray of the season. And it pulls BCU to within 1. Out high, here's Garner. At the elbow for Smith, who's just checked back in. Down low, Garner working against Clark. Garner tries to put it up and over Clark, and Kayla Clark does very well to alter the shot. Clark into the corner for White. Baseline jumper after turning her defender in and out. The rim not kind to the home team early on today as a missed dribble by Rosenthal will give the ball right back to BCU. It's not often you see the junior forward Deanna Rosenthal making that kind of error, but BCU will reap the benefits as they get the extra possession. So both teams have turned the ball over 5 times in the early going here this afternoon. Williams tries to step around the screen. Nice switching from the Prairie View defense, and then the ball dribbles off of Taylor Williams' foot, and the Panthers have it back. So the extra possession comes to naught for the Wildcats. Clark kicks to the corner. Harper, her pass was too hot to handle for Smith, but Paul recovers and gets it to Clark. Clark from left to right drives the lane. Her layup is too strong, and Kayla Clark takes the board. In transition, it's the Rahway, New Jersey native Taylor Williams. Dribbles to the corner. Finds Reed underneath to Clark, and she's got hammered on the wrist, and she'll go to the line. Gerlin Smith reached up to block that shot, but caught, I believe, wrist or forearm of Kayla Clark, so Clark will head to the charity stripe. Tatum Hayes returns for BCU, and the other center, Trinity Hudson, will replace Brittany Garner. Prairie View has 2 6'4+ players. They've got Garner and Hudson. Garner 6'4", Hudson 6'5", Kennedy Paul 6'1". A very tall team are the Prairie View A&M Panthers as Kayla Clark sinks her first free throw. She gets to the line a lot, 55 attempts so far this season, hits 53.1% of them. That time, no good on the second one, and an offensive board. Kayla White goes up, misses the rebound, still battling for it, and eventually it comes to the hands of Trinity Hudson. Emily Rosario, fresh off the bench and into the game controls for Prairie View. Now Hudson again up top. Mid-range jump shot, good by Gerlin Smith. (17-15). The Panthers retake a 2-point lead after BCU had tied it. Taylor Williams steps inside, tries a mid-range jump shot of her own. But I believe that was a traveling violation before she shot the ball, so it'll be Prairie View ball. Second turnover for Taylor Williams on the day. Underneath it goes, no foul called. The ball touches the baseline and the Panthers will keep it. That was a wrestling match underneath between Imani Reed and Galen Smith. The referee swallowed the whistle, allowed play to go on. Long inbound comes to Smith, who's the top rebounder on this Panthers team at 7.6 a game. Whistle and a stoppage of play. And they're going to get Imani Reed for a push-off. And it'll be another baseline inbound for Prairie View A&M. Panthers will reset. 5 minutes, 10 seconds to go in the opening half of play. A slim 2-point lead for the visitors from Prairie View, Texas. Around the horn it goes, tapped away by White. White, a beautiful pass, a volleyball style to Tatum Hayes, and Hayes couldn't convert the up and under. Baseline drive, wild layup, no good, but it fortuitously falls to Hudson. Hudson's putback is also missed. Another chance is blocked underneath by Taylor Williams. Excellent defensive stand under the basket from ECU. Here's Tatum Hayes, 3 from the wing, too strong. And Rosenthal grabs the miss. Excuse me, that's Galen Smith. Under 5 to play now. In a defensive contest at Moore Gymnasium. Dancing on the baseline is Soders, and then it's up and good by Galen Smith. Tania White, back out to Kayla White. Round it goes to Hayes. Hayes drives, floater in the lane, yes, it's good. BCU stays within 2. And the sparse crowd, which is just beginning to fill out a little bit as fans arrive on this Saturday afternoon trying to get behind their team. Up and under, layup too short, and a long board comes to Williams. Williams runs the floor, trying to go coast to coast with it, gets hammered and heads to the ground, and she will head to the line. That's smart play by Taylor Williams, recognizing there was nobody up with her that she could use for a backdoor pass, just took it right to the rim, expecting the contact, and we'll head to the free throw line. When we come back, we'll take a break. This is Bethune-Cookman Women's Basketball on the Cat Eye Network. Stay up to date with everything going on at Bethune-Cookman Athletics by checking out the Wildcats official website. Go to www.bcuathletics.com for schedules, stories, and all the latest information on Bethune-Cookman University sports. Bookmark it and tell your friends. That's bcuathletics.com. Wildcats down by 2 to the Prairie View A&M Panthers that have turned in one of the more impressive defensive halves of basketball that they've played this season, holding the Panthers to 38% from, so 30.8% from the floor. BCU only 25% from the floor, as the first of 2 free throws is missed by Taylor Williams. Second one goes down, 1 of 2 for Williams, and now Williams departs for Camry Harris. There's been some clutch shooting by Kayla Clark underneath, and Camry Harris has been impressive. Camry Harris, who spent all 4 of her collegiate seasons here at Bethune-Cookman as a freshman, went to the NCAA tournament with the Wildcats, and they're going to call Tania White for a reach-in underneath as Curtis Clark was driving the lane. And wasn't in the act of shooting, so Prairie View will have a baseline inbound. It cycles all the way up to Diana Rosenthal, and now for Kennedy Paul, who has the only three-pointer made in the game. She hit that one from the right-hand wing midway through the first quarter. Looked like, Soders was trying to throw the lob, but went off the base of the backboard, and BCU takes possession. Kayla White gets it back from Tatum Hayes, floats into the paint for Reed. Reed in traffic, and going to travel with the basketball before knocking down the defender. So I think either way, that was going to go Prairie View's way. It was either going to be the foul or the travel, and the referee called the travel. Turnovers, BCU 8, Prairie View 7. Prairie View has 4 points off turnovers. BCU yet to convert off a turnover. In and out that time. Rebound comes to Prairie View. Put back no good by Soders. And now falling down as she was trying to break the zone was Kayla White. And I believe whistle at a timeout going to be called. Oh, they're going to call a... Okay, they're going to call the foul on, I believe, Jessica Soders for a block on Camry Harris as she was, on Kayla White as she was trying to leave the zone. Across the time stripe, long pass looking for White, intercepted by Charles. Prairie View with the slim 1-point advantage on the road as we work down under 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Tapped away, and it's going to be Prairie View ball again over the baseline as Tatum Hayes was battling with Kennedy Paul. Gerlin Smith comes back in, replaces Clark, who did pick up that foul for Prairie View. It was not Soders as I suspected it was. Now here's Tiara Simon, a freshman wearing number 12. Mid-range jump shot, it's good. That was Kennedy Paul with Imani Reed right in her grill. 21-18, a minute 30 to go in the opening half of play. A little bit of a risky cross across the timeline that time, but BCU controls. Camry Harris into the corner for White. Goes cross-court pass, and it's too tall for Tatum Hayes. And there's a couple of times that has happened this game, and it seems that Tatum Hayes is always on the receiving end of those really tough passes that are cross-court or full court, and she just can't catch up to him. That'll be the 9th turnover for BCU. And a little bit of a chance to turn the screws going into the break for Prairie View. Nice gather underneath and finish by Janae Charles. That was a tough pass to handle from Paul, but she took it with one hand and then had the presence of mind to finish over the top of the defender as Kayla Clark comes back in. The lead is 5 for Prairie View. 45 seconds to go in the opening half. White around a screen. Tatum Hayes, 6 to shoot. Hayes gives it up. Kayla Clark steps inside. Long 2, swish, it's good. Shot clock off, 22 seconds to go in the opening half. Prairie View can hold for the final shot. They're up by 3, 23-20. Kennedy Paul, who's probably been the most impressive player for the Panthers so far today. She gives it off. It goes out of bounds. It's going to come off the foot of Kayla White, so Prairie View will have it. 5.8 to shoot. Into the corner, over the head, and a whistle and a stoppage of play, and the game clock is off, so they will work to repair that. An extremely defensive first half. 28% from the field for Bethune-Cookman. 33% from the floor for Prairie View. Only 1 3 has gone down in the game. That was Kennedy Paul's 3 midway through the first quarter. And that right now is what separates the two sides. So Janelle Creighton and the referee on the near side are having a conversation about something, and we might have to go to the monitors here to figure out what happened. And the teams will go back to their benches, and we will head to the monitor, so we'll take a quick break. 2.3 seconds to go in the opening half of play. We'll see what the call is when we come back. This is Bethune-Cookman basketball on the Cat Eye Network. Welcome back. 3.6 seconds to go after a long review. Nothing appears to have changed. No fouls were called. So the only thing that I can think of is a heave at the buzzer will not go for Brittany Garner, and we head to the half. The only thing that I could think of that foul or that review was with who had the ball after the ball rolled out of play on the far sideline from where we are, as it was very close between, I believe, Kayla White and Garner to see who knocked that ball out. That's the only thing that I could think that they were looking at. We head to the halftime interval. Here are your half scoring totals. First for Bethune-Cookman, Clark with 5. That's Kayla Clark with 5. Harris with 4. Reed with 3. Tania White with 2. Tatum Hayes with 2. Kayla White with 2. Williams with 1, Doshis with 1, Beecham yet to score. For Prairie View A&M, leading all scorers with 6, and also leading all scorers with 6 is Smith. Paul has 5, Rosenthal has 4, Garner has 4, Soders has 2, and Charles has 2. Everybody else not on the scoreboard. Once again, your score at the half is 23-20. Prairie View on top of BCU. We'll be back for more gymnasium after this. This is Bethune-Cookman basketball on the Cat Eye Network. Welcome back to more Gymnasium on the campus of Bethune-Cookman University in Daytona Beach, Florida. We got a good one for you here between the Wildcats and the Prairie View A&M Panthers. Panthers have a 3-point lead. One thing I wanted to point out before we head into second half action was a little bit of a discrepancy in the rebounding stats. BCU is out-rebounding Prairie View overall and on the offensive glass as well, but Prairie View A&M has more points in the paint, 12-6. So, BCU for the most part has been doing a good job on the low block, and they've been getting the rebounds when they're there, but there have just been a couple of times when Prairie View has been open underneath where there's a switch that's missed. That really is the only difference in this game. Just a 3-point contest as the Wildcats are looking for their first win on the floor since the 15th of January at Mississippi Valley State. They were awarded a forfeit victory against Alcorn on the 24th as the Braves, due to COVID violations, were not able to travel. But they will be looking for a second earned conference victory. Prairie View in the purple going to the right side of the second half, as the clock did not start on the inbounds pass, and that's a running theme we've had today. The little bit of clock issues. BCU in the gold trimmed in burgundy and white, they'll attack right to left. And we're going to find out a lot about the character of this BCU women's basketball squad over the next 20 minutes of game time. I want to see if they can hang with Prairie View. I really do. Because if they can keep this to the within a 5-point game in the last 2 minutes, they've got, at that point it's anybody's game and they've got a shot to win. Nice ball movement by the Panthers. Down it goes to Garner. Outside, 3 on the way, good. Second 3 of the game for Prairie View and second 3 for Kennedy Paul. So as a team, Prairie View 2 of 7 from beyond the arc, and it's a 6-point game immediately as Kayla White almost coughs the ball up, and it's going to be a late jump ball call. BCU will keep it. What BCU is going to have to do is shoot the ball better, only 28% from the floor. 0 of 5 from 3. Haven't taken many of them, but it's from mid-range and underneath. You got to convert a little bit more of those chances. Here's Tania White, dribbles it off her foot, gets it back. Hayes on a baseline, around a screen, baseline jumper no good. And Paul controls for BCU, hands off to Kayla Clark. Paul into the corner. Here's Rosenthal, and her long 2. That was the 3, it's good. So a quick 6-point swing on 2 threes from Prairie View A&M right out of the gate, and it's a 9-point Panther lead. Diana Rosenthal, who only scored 4 points in the first half, well off of her 14 points a game, as a nice second chance bucket that time by Kayla Clark is the first points of the half for BCU. Paul, guarded by White, and now Rosenthal. No, excuse me, that is Clark. Clark drives, gets it blocked by Kayla Clark. And now the other way, here's Kayla White, teardrop floater off the back iron and no good. Long pass ahead, finds Clark underneath, and stepping on the baseline is Jessica Soder's BCU ball. So the Wildcats getting a little bit lucky there. Kayla Clark is now up to a team-high 7 points, 3 for 4 from the field. So you got to keep feeding number 25. She's been your most consistent source of offense this afternoon. The ball eventually scrambled across the time stripe by White, excuse me. And now Tatum Hayes. Nice 1-2 passing, finds Clark, but Clark travels before she can put the ball up and in. 11th turnover of the game for Bethune-Cookman. Prairie View has turned the ball over 8 times. But 8 points off turnovers for the Panthers, still none for the Wildcats. Kayla Clark off a high ball screen. Now Paul gets it back. Underneath it goes to Garner. Into the corner. Long 2. Back iron, no good. Fighting for the rebound. Hayes knocked out of bounds. And it'll go to BCU off the thigh of Gerlin Smith. That's better. I think BCU got a little bit shocked out of the gate. They let out a couple of big threes. That was a better defensive possession for the Wildcats. Into the quarter, Tatum Hayes doesn't take the 3, now decides to shuffle over to Buffalo and hit the jumper for 3. And Tatum Hayes has hit the Wildcats' first 3-point field goal of the night. And it's now 5 straight for the Wildcats after the barrage to open the quarter by Prairie View. Foul of the reach-in variety going to be assessed to Kayla White as Coach Creighton not happy about that call. Camry Harris is going to step up and come in for White. In her preseason interview, Coach Clayton said her goal for the team was to play at a fast pace, and academics and volunteering was the key off the court. During the summer, the BCU women's team volunteered at food banks, Habitat for Humanity, Boys and Girls Club locally, and there's going to be a technical foul assessed here. So now Kayla Clark, a chance to halt the BCU advance, and there's a free throw up and good. Clark, a 70% free throw shooter, 35 of 50 coming into the game. So Kayla White picked up the technical. And Kayla White now comes to the bench. Camry Harris enters. And Coach Janelle Creighton is still in the ear of the referee here on the near side by the scorers table. So Panthers a chance to increase the lead, which was down to 4. It's now up to 6. Clark chucks it up and in, and 1. So a chance for a 5-point swing of points here for Prairie View. And it was Kayla Clark again. Looks like she just threw up a prayer from the baseline, and it kissed off the glass and in. The free throw no good, but Prairie View maintains possession off the offensive rebound. With the Panthers up by 8, their largest lead was 9 that they obtained just after the halftime interval. On the baseline, trapped is Smith and turned the ball over. Tatum Hayes to Camry Harris, and the Wildcats reset. Morgan Beecham yet to find the score sheet yet today. Loses the handle, recovers in the corner. Clark on the baseline, long pass to Harris, got to get a shot up. Underneath it goes to Clark, and it's turned over. Kennedy Paul stabbed the hand in there to pick up the steal. Underneath, nice turning in the air from Gerlin Smith. And it's a 10-point Prairie View lead. Timeout, Bethune-Cookman. That is the largest lead by either team tonight. We'll take a break for the timeout. When we come back, the Wildcats try and fight back. This is Bethune-Cookman University basketball on the Cat Eye Network. Wildcat fans, you can catch every Bethune-Cookman home game live on the Cat Eye Network. Go to youtube.com/Cat Eye Network for live streams, game replays, and more from Bethune-Cookman Athletics. Michael Torillo back with you for more gymnasium. It's been a hot start to the third quarter for the Prairie View A&M Panthers. They have a 10-point lead over the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. They have a 6-0 run over the last 126. And that's after BCU started brightly, went on a 5-0 run of their own to cut the deficit to 4. Around a screen, here's Tatum Hayes, double teamed at the top of the arc. And now Hayes wide open for a straight-on three, in and out. Just too much front of the rim. Here's Rosenthal in transition against Hayes. Imani Reed set to come in for BCU. Rosenthal slows it down, getting instructions from her coach, Sandy Pugh, in her 4th season at Prairie View. Pugh formerly spent 18 years as the head coach of Southern University. And are going to get a reach-in foul called against Camry Harris. We will head to immediate timeout. When we come back, it'll be Prairie View A&M ball. This is Bethune-Cookman basketball on the Cat Eye Network. Something I was noticing during the timeout, I was taking a look at the shot chart, and BCU has only made 4 shots outside the paint today. 2 by Camry Harris, 1 by Tatum Hayes, and 1 by Kayla White. Everything else has been down low, courtesy of Kayla Clark, and I am not quite sure why BCU has not been more aggressive in trying to get the ball to their 6'3 centers. Well, Clark is currently on the bench. She came out at that last timeout. Wild jump shot from mid-range is no good from Paul. Tried to shoot that one over the defender, no good. Wildcats get it back down by 10 and immediately turn the ball over. Pass for Reed too strong. Came into the hands of Gardner. And then Gardner almost coughed it up. Rosenthal round the defender from behind, and Beecham draws the foul. Draws the foul on Beecham as Morgan went up to block. She caught Rosenthal on the back of the wrist. Rosenthal had only 4 points in the first half, up to 7 now, and chance for more from the charity stripe. Gerlin Smith and Kennedy Paul are joint top scorers now for Prairie View with 8. Rosenthal has a chance to join them here from the free throw line. And she does so. Janae Charles, who played AAU ball for the Georgia Dominants and high school ball at Loganville High School in Georgia, a freshman, comes back into the game for Prairie View. Morgan Beecham, open for 3 from straight on. Yes, it's good. Morgan Beecham finally on the board with a 3. That has got to be a confidence booster for Beecham, who has seen her points per game contribution slip from the mid-teens to now under 10 here the first weekend of January. Rosenthal round a screen and fires from mid-range dead eye. (28-36). Prairie View leads. Here's a three from outside. Front of the rim, no good. That was a heat check from Beecham. Rosenthal racing in transition, finds space to shoot and hits it over Williams. So now Diana Rosenthal has come to play after the halftime interval. 6 points in the quarter for Rosenthal, 40-28, a 12-point lead for Prairie View. Hayes underneath. Tania White, that's a tough shot and it's good. White crashes to the ground, wanted a foul, a bench wants a foul. Hayes now behind the play, it's a 5-on-4 for Prairie View and Rosenthal takes advantage and maintains the 12-point lead. Beecham, transition jumper, no good. Reed right there to clean up on the glass, and she's gonna go to the line as well. Little bit of momentum now maybe for Bethune-Cookman as they go 2 for 1 over the last 3 possessions. That was excellent by Imani Reed. Right place, right time, good box out, and a finish at the rim. Imani Reed now up to 5 points. That was Gerlin Smith picking up her first foul. Reed 1 for 2 on her first trip to the line today. This is just a one-shot penalty. And it's good. So back to under a 10-point game. 9 points to lead, another steal. Here's White. And an offensive foul going to be called on White. And the building doesn't like it, the bench doesn't like it for BCU. They're going to call Tania White for the foul. Couple of late substitutions for Bethune-Cookman for Prairie View A&M as Kennedy Paul, who took that charge from Tania White, comes out of the game. As the referees are going to explain what went on to Coach Creighton. We'll step aside and be right back. This is Bethune-Cookman basketball on the Cat-Eye Network. After a quick timeout, we are back at Moore Gymnasium. 2:15 to go in the third quarter. It's been mostly Prairie View controlling the scoring and the tempo in this third period. But now BCU has forced 2 straight turnovers. Morgan Beecham in transition. Kick to the corner. Camry Harris open for 3. Too strong. But the rebound comes away for Tania White. Tatum Hayes for 3 from the wing. BCU lighting up from deep now as Hayes hits her second of the game. Whistle and a stoppage of play. And I believe Prairie View called timeout, I'm not sure. We'll wait and see. Yes, Prairie View called timeout, so we'll step aside for 30 seconds. This is BCU basketball on the Cat-Eye Network. Well, the offenses have come to play in this third quarter. It was 23-20, Prairie View at halftime. This quarter alone, it's 19-16 Prairie View. And BCU has done well to fight back in this game. They were at one point down 12, now down just 42-36, and have forced 2 straight Prairie View turnovers. Rosenthal's been the hot hand, and she continues to be the hot hand with another mid-range jumper. Diana Rosenthal up to 16 points. 12 in the quarter for the 14 points per game leading scorer for the Panthers. Camry Harris. Imani Reed on the baseline. Kick back to Beecham. Underneath back to Reed. Camry Harris open for 3 in the corner. Yes! She got it again! Wildcats on fire from deep. And it's a 5-point game. 53 seconds to go in a wild third quarter. Long range jump shot. No good. Offensive rebound picked up by Hudson. And then a jump ball called. Prairie View has possession as Hudson was tied up underneath by Reed. And starting center Brittany Garner will come back in the game. Hudson departs. It is a fantastic resource to have 2 6'4+ centers at this level of college basketball, as the Panthers do in Garner and Hudson. 35 seconds to go in the quarter. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Traveling violation against Garland Smith. Smith tied for second on the team in scoring today with 8 points, but she stepped one too many times that time. BCU on a 9-2 run over the last 2 minutes and 7 seconds. Helped by 3 threes in the quarter, 2 from Tatum Hayes and 1 from Morgan Beecham. Reed thought she had a lane to the basket, but checks up and pushes it back to Hayes. Reed underneath to White in traffic. That's a tough shot. It's good off the back iron. Tadia White pulls Bethune-Cookman within 1 possession. 3 on the shot clock and up and in. Nice post move by Brittany Garner to end the quarter. What a wild back and forth quarter it was. The offenses have come to play. 44-41. We were as we were at the end of the first half. It's Prairie View with a slim lead. We'll be back for the fourth quarter. Don't go away. This is the Cat-Eye Network's presentation of Bethune-Cookman women's basketball. Well, Prairie View A&M matched their entire first half output scoring-wise in that third quarter, and Bethune-Cookman bettered it, scoring 21 points in the third. They scored 20 points the entirety of the first half. So the offenses have come out to play, and the defenses have had to kind of scramble to respond on both sides, but I think BCU has had the better of the play, especially over the last 5 minutes. They've forced a couple of turnovers. They're 4 of their last 5 from the floor, and start with the basketball down by 5. That's a deflected pass from White. Rosenthal keeps it. She's the hot hand, has 16 points to lead all scorers. No Wildcat in double figures. The best is Tatum Hayes with 8. Here's Paul guarded by Harris. Underneath it goes into the post, and a foul going to be called as falling to the ground is Beecham. Beecham has the unenviable task of guarding Brittany Garner with Kayla Clark on the sidelines. And it's going to send Garner to the line. That's Morgan Beecham's second personal foul. Nobody really in foul trouble yet. The most on Bethune-Cookman is Kayla White has 3, Camry Harris has 3. Kayla Clark comes in for Imani Reed. And nobody has more than 2 fouls on the Prairie View side. First free throw is up and good from Brittany Garner. Garner, a 61.5% free throw shooter. Originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, started her collegiate career at Missouri. Spent 2 years there, but never played for the Tigers. Ball out of play over the baseline. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but it's going to be Prairie View ball. So the Panthers a chance at an extra possession, up by 6. And a reach-in foul against Beecham. That's her third. So now 3 Wildcats with 3 fouls. And a second foul in the quarter on BCU. Beecham departs. Kayla White replaces her. Paul underneath. Garner sees her layup roll off the rim. In transition, Tatum Hayes, another wild pass intended for Hayes, and she can't quite pick it up. That's the 3rd or 4th time that's happened today that Tatum Hayes has been on the end of one of those bullet passes that just misses the mark. One of the things I said at the top of the broadcast is BCU needs to keep their turnovers down. That's the Wildcats' 16th turnover. They average 20.3 a game. Paul against Harris. Paul knocks down Harris and gets the runner to go. Coach Creighton wanted an offensive foul, didn't get it. And Prairie View has started the 3rd quarter on a quick little run. That is not halted by Kayla White as her shot is off the iron and no good. But a nice deflection in transition from Tatum Hayes. She gets the ball back. The extra pass to Clark in the lane. It's good and 1. Kayla Clark charges down the lane, draws the foul and gets the bucket. And just like that, the noise is back in the building. Clark to the line for a second time tonight. 1 of 2 her first time there. This will only be a 1-shot penalty. Imani Reed gets set to check back in as Kayla Clark hits the and 1. 3-point play to lower the gap to just 5. And I can't remember if I said it on air or not, but I was talking to the people around me up here at the broadcast position. If BCU can enter the last couple of minutes within 5, they've got a shot. And right now they're doing just enough to keep contact. Almost a steal there. Backdoor pass and a block on the back end. Imani Reed denies the Prairie View A&M player on the baseline. That was Geraldine Smith. Back into the game after a little bit of a stint on the bench. Underneath it goes to Paul. 3 on the way, good. Jessica Soders has been very quiet tonight. Only 2 points in the first half, none in the second, but hits a 3 there. That's an important momentum-draining 3 for the BCU perspective. Harris. And now Tatum Hayes. 10 to shoot. Underneath to Reed. Reed to the corner. Harris for three. It's good! Camry Harris is on fire from three in the second half. And BCU stays connected. Paul one-on-one, kicks to the corner. Down goes the defender. Got shouldered from Soders. Here's a three, it's good. As the Panthers and the Wildcats trade blow for blow. That was Kennedy Paul. Paul now 3 for 4 from beyond the arc. Behind the back goes Tatum Hayes over the time stripe. Under 7 to go in a wild back and forth contest. BCU trying to hang on. Clark in the corner. Can't move that pivot foot, finds Hayes. Hayes, the baseline was open, kicks it. Harris, mid-range jump shot from the baseline, no good. Clark fighting for the rebound, she's gonna get fouled. The energy I have seen tonight from Kayla Clark is probably the best all season for the freshman center, and she will go to the line for the third time. Clark 4 of 5 from the field, 10 points to tie Harris also with 10. Those are the only two Bethune-Cookman players in double figures. Swish on the first penalty shot. But as much good offense as BCU has had, as that one goes out of bounds, it'll be BCU ball, as Tania White was certain that it was last off of Garner. The referee sees it the other way. Prairie View has had the better of BCU on their offensive end. In the first half, the Wildcats were very good defensively, and it seems that Prairie View has found a little bit of room to work with on the offensive side, especially with Garner down low, but this time she turns it over. And then she hacks at Reed in transition. And I think Janelle Creighton wanted a clear path foul. She's not going to get it. The foul does go against Garner. Wildcats down by 7. Clark on the baseline. Cross-court pass. Tania White. And White travels. Got to put the ball down before they move the foot. That's gotten the Wildcats a couple of times tonight. As BCU now looks to bring a little bit of pressure. Down by 7. 5:57 to go. BCU looking for a first on-court victory since the 15th of January when they were at Mississippi Valley State in Ida Bena. They're going to have to come back in a big way here in the last 5 minutes. And foul on the floor. I think they're going to get Clark for it. They will, as she was battling down low with Trinity Hudson. Excuse me, it wasn't a foul, it was a kick ball, but Prairie View maintains possession either way. Kyrtis Clark into the corner, 3 is short, and it goes out of bounds. That was excellent job by Kennedy Paul, or excuse me, that was Kyrtis Clark, to hammer the ball off Tatum Hayes' foot before it went out of bounds, so Prairie View gets an extra possession because that was a wild shot by Gerling Smith in the corner, was short. As Paul goes out, Diana Rosenthal checks back in. And now Rosenthal controls. Just over 5 minutes to go in the ball game. 10 on the shot clock for Clark. Stepping into a three and hitting it is Gerlin Smith. Smith only a 27% three-point shooter, but she got that one to fall. And it's up to a 10-point lead for the Panthers. Tatum Hayes trying to get it all back. And a kind roll off the front of the rim for Camry Harris. This time, Hayes again, hits again! Tatum Hayes heating up from outside. That's her third three of the contest. Back to a 7-point game. BCU's gonna have to get a couple of stops here. That's an excellent steal from Harris. Rips it away from Clark on the floor, and it's gonna be a jump ball. BCU has the possession arrow. We will head to immediate timeout. BCU trying to hang close. They're down by 7 with 4:25 to go. This is Bethune-Cookman Wildcat basketball on the Cat Eye Network. Stay up to date with everything Bethune-Cookman Athletics by checking out the Wildcats on social media. Give BCU Athletics a like on Facebook and follow the Wildcats on Twitter and Instagram at BCU Athletics. For the latest on specifically BCU women's basketball, follow at BCU WBB on Twitter. 4 minutes and 25 seconds to go. It has been an excellent afternoon of basketball so far from Moore Gymnasium. Remember, the men's game coming up about 30 minutes after the conclusion of the women's game. So Prairie View A&M will control. The possession arrow favored the Panthers. I incorrectly stated that after the jump ball on the last possession. So up by 7, BCU needing another stop. Camry Harris with an excellent steal the last time down the floor. Kick to the corner, wide open three, short, off the rim. Rosenthal flies in for the rebound and cashes in. Harris dancing against Rosenthal. Looking for the backdoor cut. Harris is forced to put up a tough shot from the wing, won't go. Rebound Smith. Gerlin Smith. And now Clark alone up top, guarded by Harris, and Prairie View can let the time drain through the hourglass. 3:30 to go with a 9-point advantage. Kick to the corner. Underneath it goes for Smith. Smith down low, layup too strong, but an offensive board, and a foul's going to be called after Garner grabbed the rebound. It's going to go again. And it will send Brittany Garner to the line. That's the third team foul for BCU. And Brittany Garner will go to the line after this short break. We'll be back. This is BCU Athletics on the Cat Eye Network. 9-point Prairie View lead, 3 minutes and 12 seconds to go, and at the free throw line is the 61.5% free throw shooter, Brittany Garner. Garner, a sophomore from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, her high school senior year. She had 17 points and 11 rebounds a game and 70 blocks total. And she was named to the Olympic Conference's all-national first team. And she was an All-Star Girls Report Elite 24 All-American in high school. Started her career at Missouri, spent 2 years with the Tigers but never saw the floor. Redshirted the first year and was out with an injury the second. And both free throws are good. It's 62 to 51. So with 3:11 to go, the Wildcats are going to have to fight back from 1 point shy of their largest deficit of the night. They were down 12 midway through the third quarter. Tatum Hayes on the baseline, gets it blocked underneath. Excellent job by Kennedy Paul. Rosenthal back to Clark. And once again, Clark can just sit and wait for the time to go by. Now the pressure comes from BCU. The open woman is Paul into the corner, underneath for Garner, and Garner lays it in one-on-one with Tania White. BCU scoreless over the last 2 minutes. Hayes around the screen, leaves it for Reed. Reed kicks to the corner, White for three. Yes, it's good. That's the first step on a long comeback trail. BCU down by 10, 2 minutes to go. Got to get a couple of stops here. Wildcats trying to dig in defensively. Here comes the trap on the outside. Clark passes out of it. Wide open underneath, and the pass is behind Garner. Steal. Backdoor pass in transition, and Imani Reed lays it in. Excellent extra pass by Tatum Hayes. Timeout, Prairie View. Don't look now. Here come the Wildcats. A quick 4-point burst, and they're down by 10. Men's game coming up later is going to have a lot to live up to between Prairie View and Bethune-Cookman. BCU men's team trying to stop a 3-game slide and stay in the hunt for a playoff spot. Top 8 teams make the playoffs in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. This is about the men's team now I'm talking about very quickly. BCU currently sits in 9th, and the Prairie View men's team currently sits in 8th. So a win for BCU today would bounce Prairie View from the playoff spots and put the Wildcats in there. That's coming up next after this game, about 30 minutes after this one closes. It is an 8-point advantage for Prairie View, not a 10-point advantage. My scoreboard did not update before I read that incorrect score earlier. Does not change what the Wildcats are going to have to do. Nice steal. Layup for Hayes. No good. Hayes recovers and gets it to Reed. Here's Clark charging down the lane for a layup and in for the right hand. The press comes again for the Wildcats. This time it's broken by 1-2 passes. Garner underneath against Clark. Layup is good. Brittany Garner has really showed up in this fourth quarter. She's up to 13 points on the night. Harris behind the back dribble. Reed stepped on the out of bounds line as she was put off balance by a tough pass from Camry Harris. And now the Wildcats are going to have to force another Prairie View turnover. Full court press from BCU. Clark in the backcourt. The Wildcats will back off, and Harris will play one-on-one defense at the logo. Clark flies past Harris, gets it to Garner. Garner travels underneath. Taking a look at the turnover situation, 18 for BCU, now 17 for Prairie View. .43 seconds to go in the game. It's got to go now for BCU, down by 8. Harris drives, spins in the lane, fadeaway floater, no good. Clark fighting for the rebound down low, ripped away, out of bounds. Prairie View basketball. Clark just lost it out of bounds as he was scrapping on the floor with Curtis Clark. And there's a foul. And, Prairie View is going to call a timeout. It looks for all the world like Prairie View is going to escape with a tough win on the road in Daytona Beach. But there is a massive but. This is the best performance from BCU that I have seen pretty much all season since I've been covering the team here at home. The one exception, obviously, is their win in Ida Bena against Mississippi Valley State, but I wasn't there. I got to watch that game on TV. But of all the games I've seen and covered, this is the most complete BCU team, especially defensively in the first half, that we have seen since the start of conference play, and there's a lot to build on from tonight's performance for Coach Creighton and company. Sherry Tucker, Brittany Snowden, and Stephon Walton also down there on the Bethune-Cookman bench. Lots of positives to be taken from tonight for the Wildcats. The offense just drying up at the end. And Prairie View turning on the gas with a combination of Rosenthal and Garner in the fourth quarter. Prairie View only outscoring Bethune-Cookman by 3 in this third quarter, but the little things pile up. They outscored them by 3 in the first, tied in the second, by 2 in the third, and now by 3 in the fourth, and that adds up to the 8-point lead for Prairie View A&M. Rosenthal into the front court. Coughs up the basketball. In transition, here's Tatum Hayes running free. Hayes with the layup is good. 17.5 seconds to go. 6-point lead. BCU trying to cause a turnover, and they're going to get a reach-in foul called. And it's going to be 2 shots, as that's into the bonus now for Prairie View. Tatum Hayes is going to pick up the foul. That's only Hayes' first personal. As Rosenthal at the line can pretty much seal it with 13.8 to go. First one up and in. Rosenthal quiet in the first half, only 4 points. Second half, as expected, as she's up to 19 total, and this free throw could put her over 20. Diana Rosenthal, a junior, has spent all of that time at Prairie View. She is a Florida native from across the state in St. Petersburg. Played her high school ball at Lakewood High School. In her senior season, averaged 15 points per game, 7 rebounds. And she, during her career, picked up first and second team All Pinellas County honors, was a state runner-up with Lakewood, the Lakewood MVP, 2-time All Tampa Bay team. And has really blossomed into a top scorer for Prairie View A&M. Freshman year, 8.1 points per game. Sophomore year, 12.3. This year, her junior year, 14.7, and that average will go up after a 20-point performance. 16 of those points in the second half for Diana Rosenthal. We're seeing some late substitutions here for Prairie View. Into the game is going to come Jalea Harper, a freshman from Fordyce, Alabama. .8 to go. Wildcats down by 8. Volleyball spiked over the BCU bench. And Camry Harris will inbound the ball again. Harris with 11. Harris dancing. Harris gets to the free throw line, and her field goal attempt is short. Foul going to be called on Hayes as they're going to send Rosenthal to the line again with 4.7 seconds to go. Men's game between the Panthers and the Wildcats figures to be a good one. It's coming up next. Joe French has found a little bit of scoring form recently. He's back up to leading the team and the conference in three-point percentage, free throw percentage, and points scored and points per game. You don't want to miss the electrifying sophomore from Orlando. He's coming up next, and it's going to be an interesting battle in the paint between Dylan Robertson for BCU and Markedrick Bell for Prairie View. All that to look for and more coming up as the last chance shot for Bethune-Cookman goes begging. Prairie View A&M comes out with a hard-fought 10-point win on the road here in Daytona Beach this afternoon, 70-60. Here are your final scoring totals. First for Bethune-Cookman. Tatum Hayes and Kayla Clark both had 13 points. Harris had 10. White had 9. Reed had 8. Beecham had 3. White had 2. Williams had 1. Dashis had 1. All active players for Bethune-Cookman played and scored. And for Prairie View A&M, Rosenthal, a massive second half to finish with 22 points to lead all scorers. 13 for Paul, 13 for Garner, 11 for Smith, 5 for Soders, 4 for Clark, and 2 for Charles. All the rest of the Prairie View A&M players that played did not score. Men's teams on the floor to warm up right now. We put 30 minutes on the clock. When we come back, it's the men's game between the Prairie View A&M Panthers and the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. This has been a production of the Cat Eye Network and Bethune-Cookman Wildcat Athletics. Stay with us. Game 2 of our doubleheader starts soon.